Today, students, our lesson for today is solving rational inequality. So in solving rational inequality, we have 7 steps to follow. The first one is to put the rational inequality in general form, which is r of x all over q of x is greater than 0. It may be less than or equal, or greater than or equal to 0, as long as the 0 is on the right side of the inequality and your rational expression is on the left side of the inequality. The second step is to write the inequality into a single rational expression on the left side. It should be a single rational expression. For the step 3, we have to set the numerator and the denominator to 0 and solve to get the critical values. When we set the numerator and the denominator to 0, we have to solve for the value of x, and those values of x are called critical values. Then we have the step 4. We have to plot those critical values on a number line. So we all know that a number line consists of integers. We have the negative and the positive integers, and the number line includes 0, and that is its center. So you have to plot your critical values on a number line. The fifth step is to substitute those critical values to the inequality. Which inequality? The original inequality from the step 1. The inequality that is given, we have to substitute your critical values that you get from step 3. Next, you have to select test values or testing points in each interval and substitute into the inequality. Then after substituting, we have to determine if those testing values will satisfy your inequality, and that is the time wherein we can now decide if that is included or not. And then afterwards, we have to use an interval notation to represent the result of our possible values of x that will satisfy our rational inequality. Let us have an example. We have x squared plus x minus 6 all over x squared minus 3x minus 4, and that is less than or equal to 0. The first step is to put the rational inequality in general form. R of x all over q of x is greater than 0. So since ang given natin ay 0 na yung nasa right side ng inequality, so we are done with step 1. Our second step is to write the inequality into a single rational expression on the left side. So as we can see, our given is a single rational expression. But as we have noticed, x squared plus x minus 6 is factorable, and also its denominator is x squared minus 3x minus 4 is also factorable. So let us first factors our numerators and denominators. So for our numerator, we have x squared plus x minus 6. And for our denominator, we have x squared minus 3x minus 4. Since our numerator is x squared plus x minus 6, it is factorable as x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 2. 3 multiplied by negative 2 is negative 6, and 3 plus negative 2 is positive 1, as we observed our quadratic trinomial x squared plus x minus 6. And for our denominator, we have x squared minus 3x minus 4. Its factors are x minus 4 multiplied by x plus 1. So we have now x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 2 all over x minus 4 multiplied by x plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. So it is now simplified and it's factored. For our third step, we have to get our critical values. So for us to get our critical values, we have to set our numerator and denominator to 0. So again, our numerator here is x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 2. And our denominator is x minus 4 multiplied by x plus 1. This time, we will set the numerator and denominator to 0. So we have x plus 3 is equal to 0, and we have x minus 2 is equal to 0. Since we have two values for x in the numerator, we have x is equals to negative 3 and x is equals to positive 2. Negative 3 and positive 2 are the critical values from the numerator, while the critical values from the denominator is we have x minus 4 is equals to 0. So we have x is equals to positive 4, and we also have in the denominator x plus 1, set that to 0, and x is equals to negative 1. So therefore, the critical values are negative 3, positive 2, positive 4, and negative 1. So for our fourth step, this time we plot our critical values on the number line. Since negative 3 and negative 1 are negative integers, they lie on the left side on a number line, while 2 and 4 are positive, so they lie on the number line at the right side. Our fifth step is to substitute those critical values to the inequality. So again, our original inequality is x squared plus x minus 6 all over x squared minus 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So sa original rational inequality natin, isa-substitute itong mga nakuha nating critical values. So bakit natin kailangang i-substitute yung mga critical values sa ating rational inequality? Para malaman at makapag-decide tayo sino ba sa mga critical values ang included or not included as a possible values of x. So let us start with negative 3. So when x is negative 3, titignan natin kung masasatisfy niya ba itong ating rational inequality. So we have negative 3 squared plus negative 3 minus 6 all over negative 3 squared minus 3 multiplied by negative 3 minus 4. Is it less than or equal to 0? So we have 9 plus negative 3 minus 6 all over 9 minus 3 multiplied by negative 3 is negative 9 minus 4. Is it less than or equal to 0? And then let us perform the indicated operation. We have 9 plus negative 3 is positive 6 minus 6, and that is 0. All over 9 minus negative 9, so that is 9 plus 9 is 18 minus 4, that is 14. And 0 all over 14 is equal to 0. And that is less than or equal to 0. So therefore, it satisfies the rational inequality. So it is true. That is true. Therefore, negative 3 satisfy the rational inequality. So, paano natin siya ipapakita sa ating number line? We will plot negative 3 as a shaded circle because it satisfies the rational inequality. So, if we are going to use a shaded circle, it implies that the value of x is included. So, therefore, negative 3 is included in the possible values of x. Let's proceed with the next critical value, which is negative 1. So if x is negative 1, does it satisfy the original rational inequality? So we have again x squared plus x minus 6 all over x squared minus 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. Now let us substitute negative 1. So we have negative 1 squared plus negative 1 minus 6 all over negative 1 squared minus 3 multiplied by negative 1 minus 4. Is it less than or equal to 0? So let us perform the operation. Negative 1 squared is 1 plus negative 1 minus 6 all over negative 1 squared is 1. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 1 is positive 3 minus 4. Is it less than or equal to 0? So 1 plus negative 1 is 0. Minus 6, we have negative 6 all over 1 plus 3 is 4 minus 4, and that is 0. Is it less than or equal to 0? You have noticed negative 6 all over 0 is what we call the undefined. So therefore, this negative 6 all over 0 is less than or equal to 0 is false. Since hindi dapat magkaroon ng 0 sa denominator, ibig sabihin, si negative 1 na critical values natin will not satisfy the rational inequality. That is why negative 1 is not included. So how do we present it sa ating number line? We will plot the second critical value, which is negative 1 sa ating number line, as open circle. So kung mapapansin nyo, we have an open circle or hollow circle sa negative 1. Ibig sabihin, if you use an open circle, that is not included. Negative 1 is not included as a possible values of x that will satisfy your rational inequality. Kasi si negative 1, siya yung makakapagpa-0 sa ating denominator. At kapag 0 ang denominator natin, ibig sabihin, our rational expression will become undefined. That is why negative 1 is not included. Let's proceed with the third critical value, which is positive 2. So let us substitute our third critical value to our original rational inequality. So we have 2 squared plus positive 2 minus 6 all over 2 squared minus 3 multiplied by 2 minus 4. Is it less than or equal to 0? So we have 4 plus 2 minus 6 all over 4 minus 6 minus 4. Is it less than or equal to 0? So we have 4 plus 2 is 6 minus 6, that is 0. All over 4 minus 6 minus 4, that is negative 6. Is it less than or equal to 0? Yes. So therefore, that is true. That when x is 2, it will satisfy our rational inequality. Therefore, 2 is included because it satisfies that 0 all over negative 6 is less than or equal to 0. So how do we represent that on our number line? So since positive 2 is included, we will have a shaded circle. For our last critical value, which is x is equals to positive 4, let us substitute to our original rational inequality. So we have x squared plus x minus 6 all over x squared minus 3 multiplied by x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So let us substitute positive 4. We have 4 squared plus 4 minus 6 all over 4 squared minus 3 multiplied by 4 minus 4. Is it less than or equal to 0? So let us perform the indicated operation. We have 16 plus 4 minus 6 all over 16 minus 12 minus 4. Is it less than or equal to 0? So 16 plus 4 minus 6, we have 14. All over 16 minus 12 minus 4, that is 0. So is it less than or equal to 0? So as you can see, the denominator is 0. So automatically that is undefined. Since it is undefined, it will not satisfy the rational inequality. So therefore, positive 4 is not included. So again, let us represent that on our number line. So how do we plot positive 4 on our number line? So it is an open circle since it is not included. Our sixth step is to select test values in each interval and substitute into the inequality. So, but before we go to substituting the test values or the testing points, we have to focus on our intervals. So, ilan ba yung intervals na meron tayo dito sa ating number line? So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, sino-sino itong 5 intervals na to? We have below negative 3. We have between negative 3 and negative 1. We also have between negative 1 and positive 2. We have between positive 2 and positive 4. We have above positive 4. To represent those intervals into a notation. So, below 3. So, therefore, ang possible values of x natin ay nandito. Mas mababa sa negative 3. So, isusulat natin siya as x, or the possible values of x is less than or equal to negative 3. Why equal? Because 3 is included. Next, we have between negative 3 and negative 1. So, the possible values of x is between negative 3 and negative 1. Since ang pinakamababa ay negative 3, so negative 3 is less than or equal to x because that is included. At ang pinakamataas naman ay negative 1. So, therefore, x or the possible values of x is less than negative 1. So, nandito ngayon yung ipinakita nating intervals or possible values of x. Since negative 1 is not included, so walang equal yung ating less than. Next, between negative 1 and 2. So, the possible values of x ay nandito. So, we have the possible values of x is greater than negative 1. So, ibig sabihin, dahil mas malaki yung value ng x sa negative 1. At since negative 1 ay not included, walang equal sign. And also, si positive 2 ang pinakamataas. So, x is less than dahil yung possible values ng x naman natin ay mas mababa sa positive 2. So, we have x is less than or equal to positive 2 dahil si positive 2 ay included. So, let's proceed with between or the possible values between positive 2 and 4. So, again, ang minimum natin ay 2. Ang maximum point natin ay 4. Ang possible values ng x natin ay nasa gitna because that is between 2 and 4. So, paano natin isusulat? Again, 2 is less than dahil siya ang pinakamababa or equal dahil siya ay included. And x is less than 4 dahil si 4 na ang pinakamataas at si 4 naman ay not included, walang equal sign. So, that is how we write our notations or our intervals. Next, above 4. So, asan yung possible values of x that is above 4? So, nandito siya. So, we have x is greater than 4. Walang equal dahil 4 is not included. So, we have now the 5 intervals. X is less than or equal to negative 3. X is between negative 3 and negative 1, where negative 3 is included. We also have possible values of x that is between negative 1 and positive 2, wherein positive 2 is included. Then, we also have the possible values of x that is between positive 2 and positive 4, wherein positive 2 is included. And we have x is greater than 4. Now, gagamit tayo ngayon ng tinatawag nating sign table para malaman natin sino ba sa mga intervals na yan ang naglalaman ng mga possible values ni x, or sino-sino ba ang possible values ni x, kanino sila nakabilang. Is it below negative 3, between negative 3 and negative 1, between negative 1 and 2, between positive 2 and positive 4, or above positive 4. So, kanino natin sila makikita? Ang pagbabasehan natin ngayon dito ay yung sagot natin sa step 2. Okay, asan ba ang step 2 natin? Okay, ito ang ating second step. So, ibig sabihin, dito tayo magbabase. Okay, tignan yung mabuti. Ano ang ginamit nating inequality symbol? We use less than or equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, yung rational expression daw natin is less than or equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, if that is less than or equal to 0, ang result ng rational expression natin ay negative. So, dapat, kapag nag-test tayo ng mga test values or ng testing points, ang makuha natin ay negative para masatisfy that our rational expression is less than or equal to 0. Okay, tandaan natin, ang kailangan natin ay negative. So, balik tayo dun sa sign table. Okay, ano ang nilalaman ng sign table? Ang ating numerator at ang ating denominator. So, sino ba ang ating numerator at denominator? So, balikan nyo ulit yung step number 2. So, we have x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 2. At ang ating denominator ay x minus 4 multiplied by x plus 1. Okay. So, ang sign table, isusulat natin dito kung ano ba ang magiging result ng ating rational expression. Okay. So, bago tayo tumungo doon, ano-ano muna ba yung ating mga interval? So, itong mga intervals na to na nakuha natin, isusulat din natin sa sign table. So, we have x is less than or equal to negative 3. We have x is between negative 3 and negative 1. X is between negative 1 and positive 2. X is between positive 2 and positive 4, and x is greater than 4. Okay. So, this time, magse-select na tayo ng tinatawag nating test values or testing points. Let us have the test values or testing points na dapat they are belong with the intervals. So, let's say we have x is less than or equal to negative 3. Let us set the value of x or the test values as negative 4. And for the next testing point that is between negative 3 and negative 1, let us have, let's say, negative 2. Then for the test values that is between negative 1 and positive 2, let us have positive 1. And then for the test value that is between positive 2 and positive 4, let us have 3. And for the test value that is greater than 4, let us have 5. Okay. So negative 4, negative 2, positive 1, positive 3, and positive 5, they are called testing points. Or pwede rin natin silang tawagin bilang test values. Sila kasi ang magte-test dun sa ating numerator and denominator. So ano ang gagawin natin? Isa-substitute natin yung nakuha nating testing points dun sa ating numerator and denominator. So let us have negative 4 for our numerator. So if x is negative 4, we have negative 4 plus 3 multiplied by negative 4 minus 2. So negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1 multiplied by negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. So when you multiply negative 1 to negative 6, it will result as positive 6. Okay. So, ang ilalagay natin sa sign table, since that is a sign table, ay yung sign lang nung resulta ang kukunin natin. Since that is positive 6, ibig sabihin, when x is negative 4, the result of our numerator or the sign of our numerator is positive. So, it will represent the possible values of x that is less than negative 3 or below negative 3. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Lahat daw ng values ni x na mas mababa sa negative 3 will result the numerator a positive. Next, let us substitute negative 4 for our denominator. So we have x minus 4 multiplied by x plus 1. Let us substitute negative 4. We have negative 4 minus 4 multiplied by negative 4 plus 1. So negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8 multiplied by negative 4 plus 1, that is negative 3. So it will result as positive 24. So, since that is a positive 24, sa sign table, ilalagay natin siya as positive. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng possible values of x that is below or less than or equal to negative 3, it will result your denominator positive. Our next testing points, we have negative 2. So, we have to substitute negative 2 to our numerator and denominator and tignan natin kung it will result as a negative or a positive. So, let us have negative 2 for our numerator. We have negative 2 plus 3 multiplied by negative 2 minus 2. So, negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. Multiplied by negative 2 minus 2, that is negative 4. 1 multiplied by negative 4, that is negative 4. So, therefore, the sign is negative. Ibig sabihin that if the possible values of x or if the values of x is between negative 3 and negative 1, it will make your numerator result to negative. Okay, so ibig sabihin kapag daw yung values ng x mo ay kukunin mo between negative 3 and negative 1, ang numerator mo ay magiging negative. So how about your denominator? So let us substitute negative 2. We have negative 2 minus 4 multiplied by negative 2 plus 1. We have negative 6 multiplied by negative 1. So, we have positive 6. So, the sign is positive. Okay po. Okay, next. we have positive 1. So, hindi na natin isusulat, pakita na lang natin. So, you may mental math, the solving or substituting positive 1. So, if we have positive 1, substitute it to your numerator. We have 1 plus 3, that is 4. Multiplied by 1 minus 2, that is negative 1. So, 4 multiplied by negative 1. So, makikita nyo naman, positive multiplied by negative, that is negative. Next. So, let us substitute 1 to our denominator. We have 1 minus 4. We have negative 3. Then, 1 plus 1, we have positive 2. So, negative multiplied by positive, we have negative. So, the result is negative for your denominator if the possible values of x is between negative 1 and positive 2. So, let us proceed with the fourth test values, which is positive 3. So, when you substitute positive 3 to your numerator, we will have 3 plus 3 multiplied by 3 minus 2. So, the results are all positive. So, that is positive. Then, for your denominator, we have 3 minus 4, that is negative, multiplied by 3 plus 1, that is positive. So, negative multiplied by positive is negative. Then, for the last testing points, we have positive 5. We have 5 plus 3, that is positive. Multiplied by 5 minus 2, that is positive also. So, we have positive multiplied by positive, that is positive. Then, for your denominator, we have 5 minus 4, that is positive. Then, 5 plus 1, that is also a positive. So, your denominator will become positive when the values of x is above or greater than 4. Now, our next step after you fill out the sign table, so we have to divide your numerator to your denominator. So we have n all over d. So you have to divide the signs. Okay. And we are finding, ang hinahanap natin kanina ay negative. Okay, saan natin nakita yon? Sa step 2. Ang hinahanap natin ay negative dahil ang ginamit nating inequality symbol sa original rational inequality ay less than or equal to 0. So, let us divide your numerator and your denominator. So, positive divided by positive, that is positive. Negative divided by positive is negative. Negative divided by negative is positive. Positive divided by negative is negative. Positive divided by positive, that is positive. So, dito nyo ngayon i-observe yung ating kailangan na sign. So, kanina, ang sabi natin, ang kailangan natin na sign ay negative. So, lahat lang ng negative dito, ibig sabihin, nandoon yung ating possible values of x. So, ano-ano ba yung intervals na meron tayo na nag-negative? That is the possible values of x that is between negative 3 and negative 1, wherein negative 3 is included. And also, the possible values of x that is between positive 2 and positive 4, and positive 2 is included. So, paano natin to ipapakita as our last step? We have to use interval notation. So, tutulungan tayo ng ating number line. So, ito ngayon yung number line natin kanina, di ba? So, makikita nyo dyan sino ang included at ang not included na critical values. So, kanina, gamit natin yung sign table, nakita natin na ang kailangan pala natin ay yung magre-result ng negative dun sa ating rational expression. At ang lumabas sa atin ay yung intervals na x is between negative 3 and negative 1, and x is between positive 2 and positive 4. So, ibig sabihin, sa ating number line, ang isi-shade natin ay yung between negative 3 and negative 1 at yung between positive 2, and positive 4. Bakit sila yung isi-shade natin? Ibig sabihin, yung shaded natin na portion ng number line, sila lang yung possible values ng x na makakapag-satisfy doon sa ating rational inequality. So, paano natin siya ipapakita as our 7th step? That is, we have to use interval notation. Okay, paano natin ipapakita yung ating interval notation? So, ano yung minimum value ng x natin? So, mag-uumpisa tayo sa left side ng number line na nag-satisfy. So, ang nakita natin doon ay si negative 3. So, we have negative 3. Up to. Hanggang saan? Naputol siya hanggang negative 1 lang. So, ibig sabihin, we have negative 3 as the minimum points up to negative 1 dahil naputol ulit. Kaya lang, kung mapapansin nyo, si negative 3 ay included, si negative 1 ay not included. So, paano natin siya ipapakita as our interval notation? Again, we will use parenthesis kapag ang value ng x natin ay not included. Or, ang value ng x natin ay from infinity. Okay, kung positive infinity man yan or negative infinity, basta nakakita kayo ng infinity symbol, ang gagamitin natin ay parenthesis. So, kailan ba nagkakaroon ng infinity symbol? Kapag ang values ng x mo, let's say for example, this is negative 3. So, magmumula dito, papunta sa kanyang left side. So, ibig sabihin, dahil may arrowhead ka, papunta siya sa negative infinity. So, kapag negative infinity, you have to use a parenthesis. So, from negative infinity up to negative 3. Yung negative 3 mo ay, let's say, ang negative 3 mo ay not included. Dahil open circle. So, you will use parenthesis. So, again, ginagamit ang parenthesis kapag ang value ng x ay not included or kung ang symbol na gagamitin natin ay infinity. Okay. So, dito balik tayo ngayon sa negative 3 up to negative 1. So, si negative 3, kung makapansin natin, siya ay included. Okay, paano naman kapag included? Ano ang gagamitin natin? We will use a square bracket. Okay, gagamit tayo ng square bracket if the possible values of x or the values of x ay included. At since sa number line natin, makikita nyo si negative 3 ay included dahil shaded circle, we will use a square bracket. At si negative 1 naman ay not included, we will use parenthesis. Yun. Okay. Dahil naputol siya doon, may dinugtungan. Saan dumugtong? Kay positive 2. Up to positive 4. Okay. Hanggang doon lang ulit. So, ano ang gagawin natin kay positive 2? We will use a square bracket. At kay positive 4 ay parenthesis dahil not included. So, there you have it, our interval notation. Ibig sabihin nito, mga anak, that your possible values of x are from negative 3 up to negative 1, union positive 2 up to positive 4, wherein negative 3 and positive 2 are included, while negative 1 and positive 4 are not included. So, kung makikita nyo na siya is in an interval notation, so kilala nyo na kasi si parenthesis at si square bracket, kaya alam nyo na at maiintindihan nyo na sino ang not included at not included. Ibig sabihin, sila yung mga possible values ng x at between them are those possible values of x that will satisfy your rational inequality. Now, idagdag na rin natin si set notation. Okay, though hindi naman natin siya hinihingi as our 7th step, ang hinihingi lang naman natin is the interval notation. So, might as well, ibigay na rin natin si set notation. So, paano natin siya ipapakita? So, we have the braces. So, it will read as the possible values of x such that x is an element of real numbers where, okay, saan natin yan kukunin? Dito natin siya kukunin sa intervals na nag-satisfy. Okay? So, again, the possible values of x such that x is an element of real numbers where x is between -3 and -1, or x is between +2 and +4. Then we will have to close the braces. Yan. So, ito ngayon yung tinatawag nating set notation. Again, basahin natin. The possible values of x such that x is an element of real numbers where x is between -3 and -1, or x is between +2 and +4. So, makikita nyo naman sa symbol kung sino lang ang included at not included. So, mapapansin nyo meron tayong equal sign dito, hindi ba? Dun sa less than. So, ibig sabihin, included si -3. Dito din kay +2. Included si +2. Si -1 naman at saka si +4, mapapansin nyo less than lang ang gamit natin at walang equal sign. So, that's why they are not included. So, that is how we represent the possible values of x that will satisfy your rational inequality. So, again, in solving rational inequality, we have to find the possible values of x that will satisfy your rational inequality.